call the meeting to order. The first thing will be the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Almighty God, who has blessed us with memory, reason, and skill, help us to use them wisely in the service of our town government. We ask thee this in thy holy name, amen. I'd like to welcome everyone here. Need approval of August 8th minutes. So desired.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of last week.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Is there any questions or concerns about the minutes of August 8th? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. You have your code officer's report from Mike Petro. Packet. You also have the July 20th zoning board of appeals meeting for your information. And the July 6th planning board minutes. We have a letter from PERMA, that's our insurance carrier, that we scored well, and they were proud of the fact that we adopted our transitional duty program. They were impressed. Very good report. We have an upcoming meeting the 19th, this is next Tuesday at 10 a.m. in the DEC pertaining to the wetlands. Mike, you want to address that at all?
Yeah, basically this is just the flood maps are being updated, and they've hired this outside consultant to draw up new maps. And what it is a presentation of the preliminary maps. They've redesigned them somewhat and clarified some things. So they're coming around to different towns and villages to explain the new changes. And here, and I believe in the city of Plattsburgh is the other spot they're going to be doing. So you may have people here from Rouse's Point and Champlain that are going to be here to look at the maps and get an explanation of them.
Okay.
But the flood maps are what we use in issuing permits when you're near rivers, lakes, or low-lying areas. There are certain requirements, restrictions. So it's sort of an important thing that we have.
Okay. I will not be able to make that. I have a doctor appointment. We'll see them. I want to make sure there's somebody here for that. We have a report from Barton, or Judas, is it? Syracuse, I believe, right? Yes. Pertaining to quality water control monitoring at the old landfill site that we have to, I gave you have a copy of that. Bring that back, put it on file. I see no problem with it whatsoever. We got a check from Time Warner Cable for the franchise fee of $2,128.89. Always good news. Just announcing the real property schedule for September. They will be here the rest of the month on the 15th, this Friday, the 22nd. For some reason, we're scheduled to be here on the Thursday, 28th, and Friday, the 29th. Everybody else. We have a copy of a contract with New England Waste Systems. This is the contract of the town to plow and sand the landfill as needed. It's $60 for sanding and plowing each. Is that a reward all of that?
No.
If you desire the board to approve this contract, I do need a motion.
Who's responsible to take care of the blacktop?
They are. They patched it last year, but they have not.
Well, you're there all the time now, but
And I have
it's not too good.
reported, I've reported to them several times.
A few people told me, said it was in bad shape, and I didn't know what that.
Last year, they put down about 20 bags of the coal patch, and the holes seem to keep coming back. When they come back, they always seem to come back a little bit bigger than last year.
You see that they,
I mentioned it to them, I will have to get after them again, keep talking to them.
now that was some other.
Yep.
Yep.
So I do need a motion on that if it's the town to do this. The town does get reimbursed.
The town doesn't.
The town does it. Not the blacktop, but
Oh, the plowing.
sanding and plowing.
I make a motion that we accept the ice removal contract from New England Waste Services.
Do I have a second to that motion? I have a motion and a second. Is there any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Okay, can I have the letter from the Public Office beginning with the shared services grant that we applied for? You want to address that?
Sure. Just to let everybody know that the SMSI grant, we didn't get it approved this time. I'll read the letter addressed to Mayor Moore and trustees from Donna Barco. This was sent on August 21st. We received a call from a representative of Senator Little's office this afternoon about 2:50 p.m. They have received the names of the grant recipients. However, the village did not receive any funding this time. She said there may have been some miscommunication within Governor Pataki's office. She encouraged the village to reapply as there is a lot more money available with the current state budget, and her office will have more input within the next round of grants. And just to sum that up, we had a shared services meeting last week, and we will be having another one next week. We're going to try to refine the grant, retune it, and we're trying to find out why we weren't awarded the money. And Celine Paquette is calling to Senator Little's office.
This is the shared services grant that we applied for last winter for $300,000. We were $100,000 for each of the village and $100,000 for the town of Champlain, and we did not receive that award. We may have to try again. It's for the study of the water and sewer systems within both villages and the township. I have a request for Michael Paco to go to the local government conference in Potsdam. It's a one-day conference. It's a $35 registration fee in October 17th, I believe. I'd like a motion to approve.
I make a motion that it goes.
Is there any questions on this? All those in favor? Opposed? It's also carried. We have an invitation on the August 17th go to Plattsburgh International Airport for the groundbreaking ceremonies of the Plattsburgh Aeronautical Institute. Jules, Bruce Siegler, and myself went. It was very informative. Under old business, I have the age exemption I asked for last month at this table. This is the exemption for elderly people and disabled people. Now we have presently a ceiling of $20,500 income. I would like to see that raised if so desired by the board.
I'll make a motion to increase age exemption by $1,000 to 21,000.
Yes, $21,500. It's $20,500.
I'll second it.
Is there any questions on this? This is, okay. village of Champlain has a $24,000, they're still higher than we are. The village of Russell's Point is $24,000 also. I felt that it needed to be raised. I do have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? It's also carried. I have a sample copy, something we've been studying and talking about for a long time, of a lease agreement between townships and villages or any other municipality. This is a sample contract the town of Saranac uses, and they sent me. If it's the desire of the board, I'd like to see this approved. This is when we lend out equipment or lease out equipment or trade time to other municipalities.
Is ours going to be exactly the same as this?
I read it over, I have no problem with it.
Is this similar to the one I got from the state?
Yeah. Yeah.
The copy of the state?
It's a generic, a lot of towns that use the same one. I just happened to, I was at a meeting with the supervisor from Saranac, and he passed it over to us. It's the one they approved. They have nothing on hand now to,
The attorney heard this part?
no, he has not. Not that I know of.
The one that I brought in, that was all approved in the state.
Okay.
That's why I'm asking if it's word for word. The one I gave you from the state,
Yeah,
that was
I
approved.
don't have that one in front of you.
At the time, so I knew that was good.
Well,
You can check that out, it's the same thing, that's what I'm asking.
okay, let's,
It's the same quality agreement for the state, so.
let's take a
It was
look.
right, they went through a elaborate,
We'll table this for 1 month.
When we vote on something, we should have town of Champlain,
Well, it'll be,
should be all set.
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
the,
This is Saranac's agreement.
this is actually up to the road highway superintendent to do this.
Okay, if we table this for a month, I will ask Alan to review it with me someday. Read it over and get back to me if there's any problems on it. Okay? I have no problem tabling it for 1 month. I don't want to go past that. Under old business, we have the park issue that was presented to us last month. It was called the Bob Penn Park, but now it's going to be called the Champlain
Community.
Community Park. I have Bruce Sequin, Jules, you know where it is, you've been on it recently? Have you been up there recently?
I haven't done it recently, but I know.
Okay, it's about 3/4 of it has been brushed hogged down. I was there yesterday, the first time.
And it was,
I need some input here, some direction which way the board wants to accept or not accept this part.
I think it's a good idea, but no town funds should be expended for this park.
Well, there is no town funds in this budget as such. It would have to be a budgetary item, I assume. There is no, and I have been told, if I'm correct, there is no cost to the town as far as receiving the property.
Yep.
The surveying, the transferring,
The title search, whatever.
no cost to the town.
Well, if your lawyer looks at the paper and charges you, it would be,
Yeah.
but we,
Does it have to be surveyed?
of course, town law says it has to.
I assume the survey will tell us exactly how big it is, acre-wise.
Yeah,
We have to have a survey because before they even go to the deed,
I'm assuming it's
you'll be referring to the survey.
right,
6, 7, 8
So
acres.
everybody knows what's going on with this
Yeah.
procedure.
John Paul's got a question over here about the,
Shouldn't that be bought to a vote when people, public can vote on it? You're not on the taxpayer.
Is that I'd have to talk with our lawyer on that. I don't know if that's a legal option or not. I really don't know.
it's not a referendum item.
I don't know that.
That wouldn't,
It's not that I know of, I don't know that it can't be, but I don't know that it is.
there's only certain things that can be brought up as a referendum, and that certainly isn't one. you know, public referendums are public referendums, and they're not made for this type of a situation.
I think it's a great idea, and I am for it. It's gonna be a lot of work. I have a lot of great ideas. I mean, there is some, mixed, conversations out there that from talking to people, but the overall, everybody, that I've spoken with, majority think it's a great idea, and it's gonna be a lot of work, but I think, great things could come out of this. The model that I look at is the Moores, rec park, how they have so much community support in it, and they keep it up. So I am for this.
So what will desire the board here?
I will make a motion for the town to accept Bob Ben Park from that committee and call the Champlain Community Park that.
I assume the motion, needs to be in the motion that there is no cost to the town.
Cost to the town.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, now I have a motion, we'll discuss it. I have a motion in a second. Can the motion,
Just ask the attorney how he wants this done.
okay.
Very simple.
I don't
Can
think
we,
the town should lose this because of
They're
this.
not going to lose it, I mean, it only takes another day to find out from the attorney, and then, how he wants it drawn up, I mean, he's not
I
going to
get a
review
hold of my
it.
name.
No problem with that. You got an attorney take care of this yet already?
Favreau's been our attorney, yeah.
Well, then, he'll be reviewing it for us, rather than us in the conflict. So there shouldn't be a conflict then.
Can I ask the motion to be,
No, the motion's all
I
right.
understand the motion, but I want the motion to accept, with clarification from my attorney that there's no real problems. Application. All right. Can you agree to that?
Absolutely.
I agree.
You made the second?
But I don't want to, lose on this. I really think that, I think that this could be a good thing. I know that we have some parks out there, but it's a good central location for Champlain, Village of Champlain, and Village of Ross.
Okay. So the motion is, that I will check on the application. Motion is to accept. Any other discussion? I need a roll call vote on this. Bruce?
Yes.
Jules?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
John? Yes for myself. Passes. I have my phone, my I have a user agreement, a short-term agreement between the owner and professional services from Earth Science Engineering. This is for that water, Ferris Mills Water District. It was approved, and I just want you to inform you that it has been signed by both the engineer and myself. Okay, this NIMS resolution. I attended training on this, and Bruce did today, I believe.
Yes.
The county was given, county emergency services is giving them training on this. We need to approve this to make sure that we're in compliance if there's ever another emergency within the township. If we do not approve it, I've been told that FEMA funds could be in jeopardy. I see no reason, I need a motion to approve if so desired.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion, do I have a second? A motion and a second. Is there any questions on this? All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, we discussed this before, we asked the lawyer to draw up a local law establishing a moratorium on windows. We need to schedule a public hearing for our next meeting. Somebody has a date for our next October meeting? Tenth of October? I'd like to schedule a public hearing on the 10th of October, 7:15, 7:30? 7:15? Well, that's when public notice is.
Oh, in the beginning.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay, I need a motion to approve public hearing on this, on the 10th of October at 7:15.
Make a motion, we have a public hearing at 7:15 on October 10th.
Okay? Have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We also asked for a local law, yes, local law for burning barrel. And we've got a copy back from the attorney. We'd like to have it reviewed by the fire department. Nikki Petros should be there, and one other board member probably. Bruce, would be available for that? Yes. Okay. We need to review that. I'll get back to the committee on that.
The next meeting.
Next meeting. Okay. Well, why we're in the garage? Turn the heat off on. Yeah. We're we're in the garage tonight just for the television audience to know why. The building is being used, both the boardroom and the lobby of the judge's chamber was scheduled to be used for the primary voting today. So we have to move it out here. That's the only reason we're here. We hope not to be here next month. We expect it to be a whole lot colder. It'll be a whole lot colder. Two things that was given to me today. Clinton County Youth Bureau. Was sent out yesterday. It was in police. It was enclosed. You'll find a flyer promoting the upcoming events that Clinton County Youth Bureau is hosting with support of the Outback Safe Kids Coalition. Monday the 18th from 6 to 9 at the old county courthouse building at 133 Margaret Street. Everybody's invited. Alan, your report, highway department?
Yeah, I got, the roadsides pretty much done. By the way, the sign that says welcome to Champlain will be in week
You just said 2 months ago.
18th of this month. Okay, now I'm in the process of making a new ditch on Prospect Street alongside the golf course. We got almost 1,800 feet done. Today I had a guy give me a bid on hydro seeding. Might need a board approval to give me about $4,500. I want to get that done as soon as the ditch is done. That would mean we're done picking up the stones and it's ready to go because I don't want to get it without these heavy rain. Get some washing.
Do you expect that in the next week or two?
Oh, within a few days, if it don't rain.
Okay. Oh, he does.
We got approximately half of that job done right now, the toughest part. And if we don't hydro seed it and go the other way, we might lose everything.
Heavy rains can do it.
heavy rains would do it, and if it had 3 or 4 dry weather with dry mulch, we'd use the mulch on the golf course, and I don't hear about that part of it. Down around there, it wouldn't be very good. So when I go into the hydro seeding, it'd be the way to go, and then it's a sure thing.
Is this need a vote on this issue to spend that much money on it, you know?
Yes.
Okay.
It's on the budget, there's money in here, but we'd rather have it go through. I don't know, discuss this a couple days ago.
Do you have a public proposal about anything over $3,000, that's like two?
No, this is a $4,500, approximately $4,500.
Approximately,
Might
it
not
could go
be
less.
But it won't be any more, so.
But we need 2 proposals?
The other alternative was
Well, I'd have to buy the mulch, rent a machine, buy the seed. I'd have to pick days, it's not windy to do this. And the thing of it is, you get a tractor trailer go by, and all this fresh mulch is down there, it's gonna blow all over the golf course. You'd have to fix it so you wet it down. You know, my time is critical right now.
If we don't do it, lose everything, it'll cost us more than that.
You'll have a mess. Putting all that work in there, you do that.
We've always still put the money on the project, because the county's helped us out here with the bulldozer, part of it. And that's more than the mulching already. It's the price.
We need to advertise it until the 3,000.
if it's an emergency or type situation like this, board approval.
I make a motion that we do this.
I'll second.
Okay, up to $4,500, am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions on this issue? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Alan, we also got this letter that I just came today. Speaking of a ditch on Point of Fair, or is it not Point of Fair, but off Lakeland,
Yeah.
down in Point of Fair area. You will look into this and get back to us?
Forest Lane, I mean, there's not much I can do. Because the ditch is plenty deep enough, but I think by redigging it, it's not gonna solve the problem.
Okay. But you will check with that landlord, landowner, I should say. Anything else, Alan?
Yeah, I wanna get a board approval, because I wanna start screening sand next week or the week after. Get a board approval to rent the screener from Lean Revenue, $1,250 a week.
This is something we normally do every year.
Yeah.
We're sure that we might do this 1 week this year.
Well, I'm gonna try to do it in 1 week, but
We're trying to figure out a way here, because we got to stand here already here. We're gonna be having mountains here all the time for nothing.
Okay?
Probably use some of this. We'll cut down on the salt also. We're trying to estimate how much is out there.
Need a motion to approve the rent?
I make a motion that we get the machine from Avenue.
For $1,250 a week,
yeah.
okay? Second that now. I have a motion and a second.
It's gonna be done in 1 week?
We expect it to be done in a week.
We used to take a month, now we're down to 2 weeks.
Did it in 2 weeks
Trying
last year.
to cut that down.
Put it in the warrant.
Okay? Just do our very best.
It all depends what we need to, the other end.
And then when it's wet and can't screen lane.
Okay. Alan, do you want to address the tractor room?
Well, I hate to do that right now, I gotta find out if the guy still got it down, you know, it's in Warren. Down in Warren, I gotta find out if he still has it. It's interesting to me because it's the broom part of it, it's mounted in front of the tractor rather than the one we got, it's mounted in the back. It's kind of on an angle. I was able to buy the tractor and broom for $4,000.
Okay, what are you going to bring that back to us next month?
Well, I can find out, yeah, if he still got it available, I can bring it back to you next month.
We should probably vote if he still has it.
Yeah.
Would it be better to vote on it now if he still has it, we can get it? And to wait another month, when we're in the same predicament
Yeah.
again? And we
Well,
might
if he
find
still
out.
got it, I'd like to take a ride, I'll take a ride on the weekend, we'll see what it looks like here. buy something with a picture.
You haven't seen it?
Well, I saw pictures of it, I'm taking his word for it, but
It's a
it's
used
another
unit.
superintendent that's
It's
got
a
it.
used unit?
Yeah.
Whatever the desire is of the board.
I think if Alan looks at this and it looks right, he should buy it. If it doesn't look right, it'll come home.
That's right.
Is that a motion?
I'll make that effectively into a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to authorize Alan to look at this chapter and broom for $4,000.
Yep.
Is there any questions on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's also carried.
Did you vote on the sand?
Pardon?
You didn't vote on the sand, did you?
Yeah, we can go together. The motion and the second on the sand.
The screening in the sand?
Yeah, we did it for the roll call vote.
I had a motion and a second.
Yeah, Frank?
And I didn't have a vote on it. I thought I had. I didn't. Okay. I did ask for a motion. I remember mentioning the fact that it was $1,250 per week.
You got the motion and the second, so you didn't,
I'm sorry.
the roll call vote or vote.
I don't necessarily need a roll call vote. Is there any questions on this? Running the sand, this machine that screens the sand for $1,250 per week. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's okay. Before I get into all my committee reports, Nikki, would you like to start addressing the
Yeah.
Harris Mills water? I do apologize, early on in the meeting, I should have a public forum. I did not.
Can everybody see from over there? Or you want me to go over there with this? This is the breakdown for the South Street water project.
Not South Street here.
Oh, I mean, Perrysville, I'm sorry. Basically, you probably all know that the water line there is going to be replaced. The town is looking into do it. We had to get engineering done. We're looking to do it in October. Unfortunately, there are only 7 people in this district, and the 7 people are liable for the cost of this project. The estimates of the cost are roughly $35,000. $20,000 of it are equipment, equipment and supplies. 15 of it is going to be in-kind services, digging, stuff like that. So we have 3 options that this has to be paid for by. The first option would be the 7 people that are in the district would divide up the cost of the project, and that roughly works out to $28.57 in one lump sum. The second option would be a 5-year, now this would be a bond anticipation note grant. And this is at 4.6%, 65% interest, and it works out to $374 a month, divided by 7 people, it's $53 a month, but you're billed quarterly. So you would end up paying $159 on top of what you were already billed for your water to pay for this project. That's on the 5-year option. The third option is a 10-year plan, and this is at 6% interest. And it works out to $222 per month divided by 7 users is $32 per month, or $96 added to your current water bill over and above your service charge and everything else. These are the only 3 options that we could come up with. Because it's only $20,000, we can't really get a bond on it. The interest would cost more than what the actual project would cost, so it would be higher yet. So ultimately, or in the end, the town board, we're going to.
I don't know anything about this. This is the first time to see this. I just want to know who initially hooked up those 7 houses a few years ago.
Who initially hooked them up?
Yeah.
That was a district that was formed. It used to be a village district, but when the village opted out of getting water from the river when they drilled the wells, that stretch of line which remained within the town had the option of either getting out of that district and drilling their own wells or forming a district. Am I correct?
No, you're wrong on that.
That's-
There wasn't an option of drilling a well because those houses, in fact, just before I came, I was looking at one of the articles written by Susan Moore. There wasn't an option of drilling the well because my house and Crystal's house and Bill, not 100 feet.
You have to get in the district.
I believe it's like 100 feet from the water to the sewer.
Right.
So we didn't really have an option.
Right. You would make the septic, the Board of Health requirements.
So there really wasn't an option. I had to do something.
Right. But now, that pipe, from what I am told by different people, is anywhere from 80 to 140 years old. It's leaking. You probably see the water in the road down there. And we have, like the county's after the time, we have to do something with it. We just can't abandon it. Unfortunately, the people in that district are responsible for the debt reduction, the debt payment of the water.
Who originally hooked up the houses to that line? So this was the town and village when they did the work.
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know. It wasn't the town.
The people, as houses went up, like where the house he's talking about, put up for Mr. Plus years ago. And back then, it was just a matter of going to the village board. And they were very happy to get people on their water because the more people were going back coming in. So the answer to that question is, who hooked us up? It was the village of Champlain, and in your case, in the next house's case, and in my case, it was Pat Perry, who was the village superintendent. Or did it hook it up.
So the village is responsible for keeping our houses up to 100-year-old system.
Well, that was the line that was there, that was the line that was there, and that was the choice. And the unfortunate thing that might about that line is that it's dead center under a cement road that has rebar in it. And I'm not at all sure that the particular leak, and the leak we're talking about is something that I really don't get too excited about it because it's been leaking for over a year.
Yeah.
So it's not as if it happened last week. It's been around for a while. And I looked at my notes, and I'm meticulous in notes, and I brought only a portion of it here. But in 1991 and 92, that from the old pump house to where Mr. Albert Baker lived, there were 12 leaks. And since we've had that water district, this is the second. One was in front of Mr. Baker's, and this one was just a little further west. And I don't know if it's ever been determined if it's one leak or two leaks. If you use your eyes, you'll swear it was two leaks. I don't know if it's ever been determined. Apparently, the hearing equipment that the village uses to detect exactly, precisely where the leak is not able to pick up where the leak is. And I think this is a problem.
Right, we had it tested twice by the Rural Water Association. These are people that specialize in stuff. And they were trying to tell us it was spring water, groundwater, and it wasn't a leak. And this is, like you said, this has been going on for well over a year.
Well, this is very interesting, because just across the road from that, diagonal, next to where Dr. Racine's family lives, there are very active springs in there.
Right. I noticed that.
Believe it or not, they're very active springs, and the water flows year-round. And I understand the pressure
We did test
that
that
we
line.
had varies.
We did do a test on that line. We shut the water off when it was bubbling. And when we shut the main off, it did indicate that the bubbles quit at the other end. It more or less dried up. So the consensus of opinion was that the pipe is leaking. So we started this project in August, looking, how we're gonna do this, how we're gonna pay for it, so on and so forth. Right now, we're looking to do the construction during the month of October. We did some test digging today to see what we have for pipes. There are a lot of little hidden goodies along the edge of the road there and stuff like that. When it's done, all the driveway cuts will be redone, all the grass will be reseeded. There should be, you shouldn't have to do anything when you're done. But we did send you a letter, and this is why, we want you to know what it's gonna cost. I don't know what other options we have here. I don't think we can not repair the line.
This is an estimate of cost.
Yes.
Okay.
This is our best guess estimate. We worked with the engineer, they've given me numbers, we call for quotes on pipes and materials and stuff like that. Any work that's ever done in any district, water district, sewer district, whoever benefits from that is responsible for the repayment of that. You can't charge outside users to do work in something that does not benefit the town as a whole. So this is why, unfortunately, there's only 7 people in that district.
Is it the property owner, let's say
Yes.
it's one of the 7 decides to sell the house or the property. Does the remainder of the bill go to the next tenant?
Generally,
I don't expect you to have all the answers. This is the.
generally it's the property. I mean, we could do it this way. You could do it by an ad valorem tax where you would pay back a certain percentage based on what you're assessed for. And the assessments in that district range from 30,000 at the low to 120 at the high. So it's not, everybody would not pay the same. So we're trying to find what would be the fairest way for everyone concerned.
Do we have any, what our options or something we'd like to choose?
Well, that's a board decision how they want this paid for. You can see this in the
Now, can they choose, one family choose one option, and another family choose another?
On the 2 loans, I believe the town would only apply for 1 loan, either the 5-year plan or the 10-year plan.
But they're all
So
bound.
that would be one option, and then I still think the option of some would want to pay it off lump sum at the end would be one option. So you could theoretically have people pay it all off, pay their portion of it off at the end of the project, and then the other 4 would finance the balance of the project. And they would have to decide which 5 or 10-year loan they want to do.
Ultimately, it's up to the town board.
Yes, it is, ultimately it's your decision, but this is trying to be democratic, election day, primary day.
Do any of the 3 homeowners here this evening have a preference of which way we would finance it?
Option 3, I can't afford the option 2 is.
Okay.
Option 2, the 5-year loan.
How about,
Right, Garth?
I just heard a rejection of one of your grants, but I'm gonna bring it up just for conversation's sake.
Yes.
This sounds to me like it might be a good option to apply for a FERC grant, considering that you have to send people, that you have health considerations, you can't live without water, you drinking from the back. So, I'd like to see a couple of refusals on the grants, to be honest with you. And if, when your back's against the wall, that naturally you're going to choose one. But I'd like to see, let's put it this way, if there's money out there to be gotten by somebody sitting down and writing a grant, and I've got all of the research that I've done on that 10 or 15 years ago, at home, so writing the grant, purpose, and blah, 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 I don't have that information. But I would think that might be an option if the board chooses to follow it.
Trouble with grants is they're very, very time consuming. They're time constrained. You have certain deadlines you have to apply by. If you miss that round, you have to roll over to the following year.
saying because we're only 7, you don't want to bother with it?
No,
No,
absolutely not.
Okay, that's silly.
I think, as Mike was explaining before, that they were after us to take some action.
The county is
The
out.
pipe's 100 years old.
No, I understand that.
Understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
This is why we're putting in new lines, so we don't have these recurring problems.
So I'm not gonna have groundwater anymore.
I won't want to put water
I
south.
wish I had a crystal ball. I can't guarantee that. We get water from the village, we're very dependent on how they treat their water, how they pump it. These are dead-end lines which are flushed at the end where the fire hydrant is. Generally, every time they flush hydrants, you get turbidity in the water.
I live in the village right now on South Street, and I can't drink the water there. So,
Who drinks the water?
I buy more water.
And you do.
I think really that this is a little part of the big problem that rises now and then in the town of Champlain. And, you know, where every once in a while there'll be a push where, well, why don't we have a town-wide water district? I mean, this is just a little microcosm of the whole thing. And I think that it will keep on rising, and maybe after 40 or 50 years, the town of Champlain may have a water district, certainly not in my generation, I don't think. But
That is
it
the
seems to
ultimate
me,
goal.
John Paul, wasn't it, John Paul, weren't you on a committee a few years ago to explore the possibility of getting water from the lake?
I would work.
The town was involved in possibly creating a water district not too long ago.
in case
We're getting water here. Because what's happening, let me tell you this. I'm going to refer to your prayer where it says, "Dear God, thank you for memory, and I think you forgot me." For some reason, or part of it. I think that as time goes on, the town of Champlain, as I see it, with all my prejudices and all of this, that you're losing taxable property to the village. Market Drive, you're losing it to the village because they've got water, sewer, and all of this. You get people like us, you know, you don't have to bend my arm too much to petition to go in with the village. You know, you're almost to some degree unconsciously directing people to get out of the town of Champlain and get into the village. I personally would like to see it, the village and the town, all together collectively as one unit. You know, all become village and all become town and fuse the office. But that is not what we're doing. I think Mike is doing a good job, and I think he takes the job seriously. And Mike, I want you to know that
You hit on some very good topics there.
even though we step on it.
We don't have enough time tonight to talk about everything you just covered, believe me. But to get back to this, these are the options that we explored, we talked about, this is what we come up with. So we sort of like some input from the people as to how you want to do it.
Now, if there's a way that we could get a hold of representatives and find out if there is grant money available, then
I have a lot of.
I'm on the grants committee, I will work with you guys.
if I know someone,
We have people coming up next week from the environmental facilities company, or corporation, this is a nonprofit group, that their sole interest is to look for grants for all types of projects. So we will definitely ask them about this. Yeah.
Even on a federal level, I noticed that Hillary Clinton was able to get money from some special fund to help a young man that exorbitant hospital expenses. His parents had little or no insurance and that sort of thing. But even if we explored the possibility, I mean, we're not talking big money here, but certainly we'll put a dent in the Christmas fund, let's put it that way.
Well, just to give you an example,
That's why
we have a project on South Street, we have a consent order from the DEC for bad septics. and we applied for grant money, and I do think that this would be an emergency. I mean, we've got sewage going into the river, and all the health problems associated with it, we're not even considered, because it's not of imminent danger.
That's what I
Yeah.
think.
So, when you're saying that, you know,
No,
you have a
that's-
line that would need to be changed, I would think that they view this as continuous maintenance, or, you know, you're supposed to put money away every year for these projects. Any new water districts, that's how we're set up. Anyway, I'm talking too
Well,
much.
let me ask you this question. Is there money? You know, when we get our bill every month, sometimes my service charge is more than my water charge. And that may happen here just to people. Is there, after the service, is there a portion of the service charge left in the account? Or does that all go for second, you know, go for expenses just to run it?
Right now, I believe the Ferris Mills Water District is in the hole around $1,300. And that occurred when it was initially put in place and they were charging off the master meters. The village agreed, and then the town would bill off their individual meters. When there's a leak in the line, the water is metered and charged to the town. We in turn charge the people in the district off their individual meters. Therefore, if all that water is going through the meter, we cannot recoup it if there is a leak because of your individual meter. So this is where the debt has occurred, is because we could not bill those people because of the water, there was no way to rebill it. Since then, I think the last 5 years, that has changed, by which the village bills us by individual meters, and we in turn bill you individual meters. So the recouping of that debt is very minimal because of the 7 users. So right as it stands now, I believe there's like $1,300 in whole.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I've got in front of me a paper, a copy of something that Mr. Southern, professional PC or your engineer.
Bob Sullivan.
No, Robert M. Southern, PC. That particular water meter is very interesting right there. Because I keep my eyes on what is going on. That meter costs $11,025, and that was borne by the 7 of us. And a gate valve, $525, and a 6-inch hydrant, $1995. And it was a total of $13,545. And it wasn't too many years ago. Well, ever since they put that meter in, that was sold to the town, to the village, by an outfit out of Burlington, and their product is Redhead.
Redhead Supply.
There you go. I'm glad there you go. I'm glad I talked about it, because I've got an excuse now, you see. And I do not remember, and I'm not sure if you know, I doubt very, very much if the master meter and the total water used by those 7 people ever was correct to start with. And this is why Bob Sullivan had the people from Burlington come and check that meter, and they never could find what the problem was with the meter. Whether it was their meter, or whether it was one of the 7, or all of the 7, or a portion of the 7. So, sometimes, I'm just saying that.
Can you tell me, is the leak that you're referring to before or after the meter?
After the meters.
Okay, so the meter, the water that's going to the meter at that time when the district was turned over to the town was being billed to people. Okay, so all that water goes through 20,000 gallons, and you people only use 10. That district has charged 20. We only use 10, that's why it's not.
We are constantly working with the village, trying to get better water and sewer rates for the outside the village users. It's an ongoing thing. John Paul, Greg, Larry, all the board members are constantly working. The shared services grant we're applying for, that's to study this, to get a more equitable rate between the it is now, one's here, like you say, I agree with you, I think it should be all townwide, but we don't have time tonight for that.
So you said you'd be able to do the grants?
Yes, and next week sometime we're going to be getting together with the shared services, and it'll be in the paper.
Is there a way that they can notify us by the outside of the paper?
Okay, after this meeting, give me your name and your numbers. I'll get hold of you.
Okay?
Would you leave this up for a while? I'll just read the paper.
And I agree with option one, and should come out of the holidays. Nobody really has that kind of cash.
Vicki, can you give a copy of that, also,
Yeah.
short form letters?
They also could take a portion of option one. Okay, $1,000 or, you know, that's open. All of you have to agree on either, you know, 2 or 3. But you could pay a portion of the whole overall and then finance the rest. You know, that's an option.
And if you wanted to pay it all at once,
You can pay it all at once.
so option one is available.
Absolutely.
If you want it.
Absolutely.
Or option 2 or 3.
That's correct.
Thank you.
But just so you understand, it's a $35,000 project, 20,000 of that is estimated in actual material costs.
Expensive.
Expense to you people. 15,000 is the digging which towns and villages are going to do with in-kind services.
Does anybody else have any questions they'd like to ask us on this? Committee reports. Jules, you have anything on the building committee? This is coming to this line. Jules. John Paul, Craig on the grants committee.
Petition for the dredging of the river is out there. I should go that back shortly. Hopefully I'll have more next month and then start looking into more drainage services available. And the shared services, I think we covered that.
Board of Assessment Review, John Paul.
No.
Highway Committee, Jules and John Paul.
Just went through it without
Water and Sewer Committee, John Paul, Craig and Mike Disco. We will update you on that, I believe.
The only other thing I have is we had an application come in for, it's a DEC grant application for stormwater projects. I don't believe that there's anything in the town here that, we're not gonna reclaim any swamps here, so we don't have mosquitoes and stuff like that. But I just wanted you to know we didn't get this. It comes every year, but it has everything to do with entities that deal with stormwater drainage or
We don't have any big projects, maybe at least an acre.
an acre, or you have to have drainage, or you need retention ponds and stuff like this, or areas that you have problems with that you want to clean up, or if you had equipment in place and you wanted to upgrade it, this grant would be for that. I don't believe there's anything in the town, we don't get involved in stuff, we just have drainage ditches along the roads.
Only one of the board, we have to do that. Customs.
That was the only other thing that I had.
Landfill Committee, Jules.
Right now, I have nothing, we're just waiting for the building and the cleaning up, the remodeling. You should have a,
Did you get the quarterly report?
the building.
Always done, yeah.
We don't want Julie, town clerk's report?
The only thing I have is there's a free rabies clinic Thursday, September 21st at the Rosses Point Fire Station. And there is other locations if anybody's interested, they can just call me. And we also have to schedule a budget workshop.
Okay. Budget workshop, in the next week maybe, or?
We received approximately 75% of the requests that we had sent out. We'll probably get on the phone again this week and if they have any good suggestions for the budget, and then put the workshop
Right, it's the third maybe. Is that Tuesday then?
On October, yeah.
Is October 3rd, a Tuesday night acceptable?
Yes.
You know that, John? Craig?
I'm fine with that, yes.
What time?
That's a good question. You want to do this right after work in the afternoon, or you want to do it late in the evening? Or 6 o'clock is acceptable to everybody? Yep. 6 o'clock, October 3rd. First budget workshop. Anything else, Joe? That's it.
Larry, just one other thing.
Yes.
The Dubois Road, that transfer station, are we gonna get with the village on that, or that,
I don't need to go too much, I'm waiting for Brad to come over to change the
oh,
electrical.
the electricals?
As soon as he has electrical down there, I'll put there. Now,
We're gonna take care of that.
Our highway code can do that?
yeah.
Let the clerk handle it.
They don't have it.
Okay.
I'm waiting for Greg, if I can probably move this week, I don't know, I'll check with him tomorrow. You know, the month.
I need a motion to approve the monthly bills.
I'll make that motion to approve bills.
Have a second.
Second.
Motion is second to approve the monthly bills. Any questions? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Motion to approve the post audit bills?
Motion to make both our bills.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any questions on the post audit bills? All those in favor? Opposed? It's also carried. You have your revenues. Action will be done. Does anybody else, any other board member have anything before the board? I do want to talk to the board. At the beginning of the meeting, I forgot to ask for a public forum. Does anybody in the audience wish to address the board? If not, I need a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
Tyler Grosser. Jordan LaFave. Mitchell Rao. Zachary Barrett. Peter Patterson. Tyler Smith. Ben Privacy. The JV boys basketball team. Mr. Navarro. Would the boys varsity basketball team please come forward? The boys varsity basketball team is coached by Mr. Mike Rico.
I'd like to start out by thanking parents and all the staff in school for their support throughout the year. I also would like to say a special thanks to the cheerleaders and their coaches, our scorekeepers, the keepers of the clock, Mr. Red, and last but not least, a special thank you to Mr. Joe Headbutt Coakley and Mr. Jamie Clipboard Labarge. The 2005-2006 boys varsity basketball season was full of ups and downs. We started the season without our point guard, and From there, it seemed as though everyone was going to acquire either pneumonia or appendicitis. On a serious note, the 2005-2006 Bobcats ended up the season with a 5-16 record. When we were able to put 5 healthy players on the floor, and we played together as a team, we looked pretty good. The 2005-2006 Bobcats showed potential throughout the season, and hopefully will continue to improve for next season. Remember, guys, that you can do anything you put your mind to. To the returning players, next year, please work hard on your games over the summer. And remember that if you put your mind to it, you will succeed at anything that you do. And most importantly, don't give up on yourselves or your teammates. To the seniors, last but not least, Kyle. But coach, I want to dunk in a game brasser. Stuart, the bank is always open nickels. James, the sweaty Suplee. Josh, what I love, the dive drill, McNeil. And to Travis, my dog Love. It's been a pleasure to have the opportunity to coach you guys and have you on our team. Good luck with all your future endeavors. Work hard. Good things will happen to those who work hard. Good luck, guys.
The boys varsity basketball team. I'm not sure I can get these right. Doug Alexander. Benjamin Boyer. Kyle Brasser. Jesse Dubray. Derek Jubert. Travis Law. James Suplee. Courtkeepers, Johnny Torville, Monica McCall. Varsity boys basketball team. Would the JV cheerleaders come forward? JV cheerleaders were coached by Barbara Williams.
As another school year nears completion, we look back at how we have spent our time the last 10 months. For this group of girls and myself, we shared a good portion of the last 10 months together. We began practice in November and ended our season in March. That means we spent at least half of the year together. What lessons did we learn in the last 4 months we spent together? Many more than we will probably realize. We learned what it means to stick to something and to give it your all, no matter what. We learned what it means to be a part of a team and how important each person is in the success of that team. When one person wasn't at practice, we all felt that missing link. We learned that sometimes it is better to let things unsaid. We learned how to work together even if we didn't really like each other at those times. We learned how to group, how to regroup when team members were moved to varsity. That would be my thought. We learned that sometimes even though everyone is frustrated and things are not going exactly as planned, we push through it, don't quit, and keep working until we have it. We learned to handle accomplishment, and we have learned to handle defeat as well. We did not play as high at regionals in Albany as we had anticipated, but the experience was left a lesson in itself. we learn that no matter how hard we work at something, someone else is working just as hard. We also now have a much better idea what our squads need to work on to be competitive in that arena. The work is not easy, but it is within our grasp. I believe that, yes. You are a hardworking group that never gives up. As you move on, I know that all of you will work hard. Let your passion for cheerleading never let you forget what cheerleading is all about. It is about sportsmanship, good spirit, and supporting the basketball team. Competition is an extra perk. If you do well at the first three, then you have been successful. And although I know we would like to do well at competition, it does not define our accomplishments or failures. Thank you to John Revenue and the Board of Education for giving me the opportunity to coach this squad. Thank you to the parents for all of your support during the year and for allowing me to spend quality time with your children. Thank you to Michelle and Janelle for all of your assistance, and a special thank you to the girls on this team. Words cannot express how much you have given me, and I hope that I have given each of you something that will always make you fondly remember your days as a JV cheerleader.
The JV cheerleaders squad. Lindsay Bowles. Brooke Carter. Jill Gardner. Rochelle Harris. Caitlin Jackson. Megan Jutton. Kirsty Kelly. Tiffany LaPointe. Kelly Norman. Kelly Robb. Taylor Sample. And Julia Staley. The JV cheering squad. Varsity cheerleaders this year were coached by Miss Leslie LeVar and also Miss Marie Bull.
They practiced for hours, nailed stuff, made up dances and cheers, perfected them, decorated, made posters, got the crowd pumped up, rode for miles on a bus, practiced some more, and even managed to make Mr. Record laugh and possibly even like cheerleaders. And they even had a special cheer just for him. But hey, no sweat, they are just cheerleaders, right? Well, I will say that even I gained a different respect for the sport of cheerleading. What can I say? I'm an ex-basketball player from Northeastern who turned out to be a cheerleading coach over the summer. It was surely an experience, and I just want to thank you girls for being so patient with me. I know that we were a lot different than what you were used to in the past, but we managed to have fun anyway. If you can take anything from this season, I hope that you realize that life is about changing, and no matter what happens, how hard it gets, or how different things can be, you have to just pick up your head, stay together, stick to what you love, and believe and keep on going. Best of luck to all the seniors. We will miss you. Well, as for our season, we were not quite sure how it would all end, and we had hoped that we would have ended a little bit differently. However, as you all know, it is in life's trials and tribulations that we actually learn the most. It is always easy to hold your head high when you are the winners. But girls, you were forced to hold your head high when you felt the lowest. I'm very proud of each one of you from the dedication that you showed all season to your support of each other. My hope is that you will carry with you as you leave NAC and pursue future future careers, that the high motivation to do your best, and work ethic that you have displayed during our time together will go forward with you. I also hope that you can look back on our time together from the sweltering heat at cheerleading camp last summer to our overtime practices for competition and remember the fun and good times. I have truly enjoyed coaching all of you. I know at times we were very hard on you, and even though you may feel that we were too hard on you, we did want you to do your best. As a team, we may not have necessarily won what we had wanted to, but in fact, we really did. You will all be winners in my eyes because there's more to winning than just a trophy. I hope all the seniors the best of luck and much success, and good luck to the returning girls next year.
The girls varsity cheerleading squad. Kelsey Torvald. Heather Bordeaux. Kim Matthews. Amanda Myers. Jennifer Robb. Brittany Barron. Christine Levin. Justine Barkley. Amanda Bushy. Jacqueline Harding. Erin Hemingway. Kaylee LaValle. Stephanie O'Neill. Ashley Snyder. Ashley Torvald. Courtney Byler. Courtney Trudeau. Lauren Carter. And in charge of the girls' music, Amanda Torres. Girls varsity cheerleading. Barge watching and know how proud she is. Boys tennis team, come forward please.